Good morning, everybody. Let's see here. This is we got quite a bit of time here before we get rolling. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead 15 minutes. Get into the bulk of the show or the meat of the bone here. Until then, just getting here, setting up the audio here for the rest of the radio stations and getting everything ready to go that way and whatnot. Morning, Waylon. What is happening? Dave, good morning. You're on the south side of the storm. We got an inch and 3/10 of rain. Really? Huh. You're on the south side of it? Huh. Must have had two systems, must have split up here. Okay. Oh, I think we got like 6, 7 inches somewhere in there. 6, 5, 6. According to how it is from the ground to I know it's exactly 10 inches to the bottom of that corral. I would say about 6 inches right there. Master John, good morning. Good morning. Let's see here. Yeah. Let us know what you had for snow in your prospective area, please. Everybody wants to know. One shot cap, good morning. I got some time here. Oh man. Matt roll Mets. It'll make the creeks run. Yeah, it will. 1 inch of snow and ice in Wilmer, Minnesota. All right. You get much snow out west, 8 inches near Elmont. We got about, I'd say 6 inches here at the ranch. That's what we got here. Morning, Mr. Bulgy. How much snow did you get, Scott? I forget what area you're in again. God darn it. I always forget. No snow. Really? I heard. Morning, JD. I heard from Karen this morning over by Mobridge. She can't get in. So, Brian, good morning to you over there. Because of the roads and what have you. She said the rumor is. Let me pull it up here so I don't misquote her. She thinks about 7 inch around Mobridge and Selby, but she heard McIntosh and Isabel, McIntosh close to 20 inches and Isabel over 10. Now, I'm going to ask about that here as we get on to the radio side so we can see what. About 10 inches here at the farm, 10 miles northwest of Cullum, and it's still coming down. Yeah, ours stopped around, I'd say, midnight to 2 a.m., somewhere in there. Actually, it looks like a really, really decent day out this morning. I mean, besides being completely white, but that'll clean some stuff off. We sure needed moisture. There's no doubt. No doubt about that. No doubt. Morning, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we needed some moisture. If you have blue tint in your snow, Gene, you must be doing something wrong in your diet. Most everybody else is yellow snow. Oh, you're by the plateau. That's right. That's right. No snow down there? What the hell? I thought that storm was going to dump down that area more so than I must be wrong. Oh no. I see. Basically from the interstate north. Okay, I see where we're at now. And I see how it curves up to you there, Dave. All right, I understand now. They could bury Chicago in 28 feet of snow. That'd be fine with me. Let's see here. Dan Brown, morning. How much snow did you get in Dickinson, Dan? Because Riley Schrieffer sent me a video this morning, and he got I don't know, inch maybe up there in that Golden Valley area, so doesn't look like a whole lot. Actually, I just looked. We have some flurries. So there you go. But I only have feeder cattle. Hate to calve with all this stuff. A lot of the folks. So I mean, here's the thing about it. It was still like 30 degrees when as it was snowing. So I don't think it. I mean, for the most part, you hope it isn't that bad. But what really gets you is when it's wet, like wet snow coming down, and then it just freezes down at night. I think it only got down to like 27 last night here. Where are we doing on time? Okay, stations 8:00 Central Time here. Coming up on 7:00 Mountain on Mark. There you go. Morning, Brian. 5 inches in Dickinson. All right. Might run off and contaminate the lake. I was just hoping it'd smother most people in Chicago. That's all I was hoping for. Oh, my God. Well, Wayno will call here. See if he's ready to roll. Don't want to eat your eardrums there. It's too bad. Okay. That was substantially louder in my ears than I thought it was going to be. 7 in Mobridge. Okay.
Good morning, Scott.
Morning, Wayne. How are you this morning?
I'm good. Looking out the window to a bunch of snow.
9.4 inches, I heard.
Is that what it was? Didn't hear officially.
That's what the airport said in Bismarck. Anyway, not the Mandan airport, but the Bismarck one.
Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty close. I think during the snow, it was kind of melting too, so I'm not sure how they all measure that. It looked like we got 5 inches sitting on top of the fence posts and such like that. So,
yeah, it's been all over the place.
But it's been good. It's good moisture, and the thing about it, it's not cold. It's not windy, at least at this point. So
I must have had the only pocket of wind. I must have had the only pocket here on was it Thursday and Friday. And we had yesterday wasn't as bad, but Thursday it was windier than dog out here, and everybody's like, it's not that windy out. The trees are like no leaves on them, and they're still bending over. So. Must have just been a pocket right here that I had wind, because I was like, how can you guys not have wind today?
Yeah. But you needed the moisture out there.
Yeah,
it was dry. Yeah, it was good. We haven't had much all year. It's been really easy. And we'll talk about that, I guess. The deer conditions, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess, according to the fog days, all those people that are into writing that down, they're pretty accurate right now with this moisture came in.
Yeah, but we've had a lot of fog days. I think that probably had skipped. So it seemed like anyway. I'm not sure.
7 in Mobridge, 7 north of Strasburg. Okay, so most everybody in that. Brian, if you're listening down at KOL country, tell me, Karen messaged me and said near 20 inches in Mobridge or in McIntosh. So let me know if that's true or not, because I couldn't find any snow reports on South Dakota's website.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And the northern part of the state didn't get anything. They showed on the news last night. Minot had nothing. Williston, I don't think, had little or if anything. So it's all the southern half, and it's kind of different from the typical storms that come through.
It basically was from Rapid City to the I-94 interstate straight across.
Mm-hmm.
So I-90 to I-94.
Our spring storms.
Yeah. We need it. It brings a lot of this snow like this has a lot of nitrogen in it.
Yeah.
It really carries a lot.
Well, and it's at a good time of the year. It's going to melt. It's going to, in the ground, sort of, I think, thawed in most parts. I think it's been nice enough.
Yeah.
And if we get this in January, it's going to freeze and you won't have anything out of it. So.
Yeah, it should be about 51 degrees down here today, so it should melt nicely. Should be actually 18 to 19 in McIntosh. It was true. Okay, holy moly.
Wow.
Oh, there, I hear myself in the background in your house.
Yeah, I gotta mute this. I just turned something, switched something else, and I hear Scott over here. Oh, funny. There we go.
That much snow in McIntosh. No one is out of that if you give them an official dip. Yeah. That's a lot of snow in one. I mean, I can see that. That little pocket kind of circled back and over the top there, but yeah. We'll see how the roads get them. They all, both north and south, the state boys, they'll get them open. They'll get them cleaned off in a hurry.
Yeah.
Get some warmth on them today.
And they're going to be muddy. The horse corrals and such are going to be so muddy. Oh my God.
Sloppy mess.
Yeah. We rode our horses, the last few weeks on a pretty regular basis. But at first, when it was muddy in the corrals where we keep them, we came back next day and they're just covered with mud. Usually we let them roll before we put them back in there. They went in there and rolled in the mud, and oh my God, just a mud mess.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, about 40 seconds or so here. I'm turning you down here. We're going to get ready to start her out here. So stations, 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds coming up here. On 30 seconds to go on mark. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the Dakota Territory on great radio stations, on the probably some of the best fishing, all the way from KGFX and Mobridge to KGFX and Pierce. Sorry about that. KOLY and Mobridge, sitting there talking with Brian on chat here. K-Fire 550 in Bismarck, KLTC up in Minot, or Dickinson, and KCJB in the Minot area. Good to have you along here this morning. Is coming out and digging out. We got a lot of reports here for snow around the states, North and South Dakota. Everything from I can go through some of these here. We got 9.5 inches in the Bismarck Airport, an inch of snow in the Wilmer area. Thanks for listening over in Minnesota side. 10 inches right northwest of Colm this morning here. Let's see, we got 7 inches reported in the Mobridge area, 18 to 19 inches in McIntosh. So anybody listening out there, let me know about that. 8 inches in Mound City and 5 yesterday. So a good amount of snow down in that wood. So let's see if you have some snow reports. Just text it to me. If you're live chatting on YouTube, you can throw it in there. Just throw the town and how much. If you want to text it to me so we can let everybody know here in both North and South Dakota what about you had. It is easy. 701-425-6651 is my number again. 701-425-6651. Send me your snow and or rain totals. This morning is Wayne Muth. Here's my guest. Is we want to talk. It's nice to see the snow. It's a moisture, Wayne, and I think everybody kind of realized we're not going to get out of this spring without a little bit of a storm.
Yes, you're totally right. Thank you for having me this morning. Yeah, it's something that we expect. We live in the Northland here, and March and April are good for high volume snowfalls. So
yeah,
but yeah.
Well, I tell you what, if you're trying to call me, Mark, I'm on the air here. I think he was trying to text me, but got the calls coming in here this morning. So anyway, I wanted to get you on here thinking, I went out the other day, did some hiking. And I was thinking, I know I'm a little early for elk sheds. I know that because they usually don't fall until toward the end of April, at least in this country. But we had a couple of friends out the other day and we were driving around and we saw a group of bull elk, and some of them only had one side. Some of them didn't have any. And I was like, well, maybe it's time they're starting to drop a little bit. And I didn't find nothing. I mean,
Mhm.
I didn't find nothing. I kind of took the same path you and Levi did on horseback, only I did it
Yeah.
on foot there. I guess I probably didn't get
Mhm.
up high enough. But anyway, most of the deer is whitetail and mule deer should be done by now, shedding, right?
Yeah, they should. Most mule deer have should be done now. The elk, I had cameras, pictures of elk, even in early February that had one shed on, but it's kind of an oddity. You know, there's a lot of bulls out there that have them. I saw a picture from a rancher recently down closer to the reservation where there's a huge herd of elk, and and then most of those, a lot of those were bulls and had antlers, but you couldn't tell from the picture if they've already shed. But after this snow, it's going to be a little bit difficult in our part of the state to find some sheds because you're going to have to wait now a few weeks till this snow goes away.
Yeah. Why is it that elk take a lot longer to shed than deer?
You know, I just think they're it's hard to say. It's just something that they're cyclical, and they've always kind of been that way. So normally if a deer hold their antlers longer, that means they're in better shape. There may be does coming into estrus later in the year, and they still have the testosterone buildup. So maybe it's just that testosterone and elk that are keeping them holding their antlers a little bit longer. But now that if you think about where you want to look after this snow, now start looking at where these animals are yarding up, especially the elk. If they're yarding up in some areas now and they're starting to shed, when this snow's come off, you're going to be able to go to those areas and hopefully find some good sheds.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
they all
a point that you can look at.
I mean, they all just like cattle, they all bunched up during the last 48 hours during the storm, and that's probably where they're going to be. Hopefully, anyway. We look at. I always say fence lines, because anytime they jump a fence, it seems like that knocks one off. Once in a while, it knocks them off.
So you had mentioned in the past you have a drone. Have you ever tried using your drone and flying over some of these areas and looking around?
I have not. It kind of worries me because I always feel that it's if you knock out, I mean, you could spook a whole bunch of elk out and they're going to trash the fence on your neighbors or something. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it's legal. Is it legal to look for sheds? I have no idea if that's even possible.
I don't know. There's something you probably should check before you get out there if you have a drone. Don't take my advice. No.
So I found a really cool thing this morning. I was watching this guy, they have thermal drones now. And this guy was using it to kind of police his property. So he rents a whole bunch of property, and this is in the like Iowa, down in that area, big whitetail, right? And like Pike County type stuff. Anyway, he was using this to police his property. He pays a lot of money. He puts a lot of mineral out, and he puts a lot of time with blinds and everything all over the place. And he was just running around his property, and he saw this heat signal, and he found a guy in a tree stand with a shotgun smoking a cigarette, and it just stuck out like a sore thumb. And he called the boys in Brown in, and they walked right to him and arrested this guy.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, he's just came in on the property and just and the best part was they have video of him shooting like 7 or 8 times with a shotgun with slugs in it. So,
oh my goodness, yeah. Wow, it's a new way to patrol your land, I guess. Right?
Jay, wouldn't using a drone be like the lazy man way of looking for sheds? Just asking for a friend.
Yeah. Yes, Jay. That's the older we get, the more advantages we like to take. Yeah. Right.
The technology.
And speaking of technology, I saw online that they have shed hunting glasses now.
I seen that too. I seen that.
And it's like, I figure you got to be kidding me. What are they doing now? So apparently they're a blue UV coating that darkens the grass around the sheds and makes the white stand out. And supposedly use it for golfing too, for looking for golf balls or something. And but they're selling them as shed hunting glasses. So another avenue, Scott, to help you find what you're looking for.
Well, I'll tell you this: if they're using them for golfing, they better make those blue UV rays in binoculars for me to where I hit my balls to, because sunglasses ain't going to be enough. I'll tell you that. Not even close. But I know all the technology out there, seen those too, and it'd be curious to I guess, you look at the outdoor industry side, Wayne, all of these, everybody's like, what else can we develop that they don't already have? That, and I'll tell you what, shed hunting is a big, big business in some areas. I mean, some of these
Yeah.
states, they actually have seasons for shed hunting. And I mean, there's pretty high fines if you go out without those season dates too. So,
right. I mean, if you go to your local sporting goods store and you can find the chew bones that are antlers, and they're expensive. My goodness, for giving to your dog. Those that don't have the opportunity to get out and do their own shed hunting, that are buying those, are paying a lot of money for them.
Yeah,
that's for sure. That's kind of crazy, but.
Well, we're going to dig into it a little bit more here, Wayne, and actually get in where exactly we're going to be looking here, especially if you get into rough country and you're out in the Badlands, and kind of give some tips here if somebody's interested. And it's a good way to start getting into the outdoors. We'll be back with more here on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. Again, send me your snow totals. We'll throw them out. I got a few to cover when we get back. We'll be back right after these messages.
Pfeiffer's Auction Realty and Land Management, your trusted partner across the upper Midwest. Whether you're buying or selling land, farm equipment, or real estate, Pfeiffer's delivers results. Pfeiffer's offers proven live auction strategies with online bidding and an experienced team that handles every detail so you don't have to. Serving North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, nobody does it like Pfeiffer's. For more information, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, log on to Pfeiffer's.com.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schreifer from Schreifer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schreifer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schreifer Red Angus.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance. Agents that understand, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction Realty and Land Management, your trusted partner across the upper Midwest. Whether you're buying or selling land, farm equipment, or real estate, Pfeiffer's delivers results. Pfeiffer's offers proven live auction strategies with online bidding and an experienced team that handles every detail so you don't have to. Serving North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, nobody does it like Pfeiffer's. For more information, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, log on to Pfeiffer's.com.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors on the Saturday side of things. Thanks for all the messages here. Appreciate that. 8 inches of snow in around the Fort Dills area. The Schriefer at Angus Place, they're 5 inches on the ground, 2 to 3 melted before any of the accumulation of the heavy wet snow. And we do have a before and after picture. Thank you from McIntosh area. Appreciate it. Before and after pictures of the backyard. Working on getting drain pipe buried underground for some pumps. Holy moly, Wayne. Yeah, they close to 20 inches. I believe it now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I would say so. The pictures. I appreciate that. Send more if you can. 701-425-6651. And let's see here. I already said that one. I'd advance the theory that elk shed antlers later the same manner as how the rear differential works in a 63 Pontiac. It just does. So there you go.
It just does.
It just does. It just does. So when we talk about going after sheds, let's talk mostly deer. Elk I think they're a little bit different on their travel pattern because they cover a lot more area, I think, than the whitetail or mule deer do in a day, especially if they're pushed or anything. But when it comes to the deer side, if you're coming out to the Badlands looking for those mule deer sheds, a lot of the people say, always look on the north or the south facing slopes because that's where they sit and sun themselves and it's cool weather, like today or last few days. Mm-hmm. And is that still hold true to these days?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd recommend that too. Sitting on the south facing slopes, they melt off faster, warms up, they start grazing on those sides. And if you have those south facing slopes close to bedding areas, it's a great areas too because, they spend 80% of their time in their bedding areas. So when you can concentrate on areas like that, your trails going to and from those areas and to and from feeding areas. And, once you find a shed, then start your grid search on those. And I make a circle and make my circle larger and hopefully could find the second shed and mark your locations from years past where you find them, because if they're in the same areas from year to year, they're going to be predominantly feeding in certain areas. So that's a good area to concentrate on as well. And, and we've talked about doing it from a horse, because if you could do it from a horse, you get a little higher angle on it too.
Yeah. And then take a pair of binoculars with you too, because even
definitely.
on stubble fields and flat ground like that, you can scan them and you can see those points sticking up every once in a while too. Now, you say go to where they spend 90% of their time in their bedding area. Is it a good idea to go into those bedding areas, or is that not? I mean, if you're truly wanting to keep the deer in your area, are they going to come back if you bump them out? How does that work?
I guess it just depends on how big your area is. I mean, the deer are going to be coming back after a certain point in time. I guess I would be more less apt to go into those bedding areas if it's really cold and it's really a hard winter. You don't want to stress the deer any further, because as we can talk about, the better the does are in going into their gestation, the better the deer, her fawns are going to be going forward. So you don't want to stress them. So you want to be careful about doing that. So, pick the times of days or the days that maybe they're not in those areas. Maybe they're through to different bedding areas, like mule deer will move from areas to areas. And, if you start bumping animals, then I would back out and make sure that you're not stressing them too much. That's primarily what I think about when I do that.
That's why you take a pair of binoculars once in a while too. I believe that.
Yeah.
Question comes in, says, how soon do the antlers start growing back after they shed?
Oh, within a month, normally they start growing back. They'll start getting that. They get crusted over. They get a scab over instead of healed on the pedicle. So then they start growing, and they grow from the inside out. So they start quite rapidly. Actually, it's amazing that you start getting these little nubs on there quite quickly. And then there again, when you can sometimes match up the antlers to the deer you've seen before.
Yeah.
It's nice watching them grow them back again. It's one of the freaks in nature that deer and cervids like that only do. So it's pretty neat.
And what's really crazy is watching elk. You see I mean, it's almost like they're growing 3-4 inches a day on some of them.
Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah. It is amazing how fast they do grow.
We were talking about the uses for antlers, and you said the dog chews. There's I think there's Asian countries that grind them up into pills for enhancing things, and but a lot of furniture, a lot of different arts and crafts. I've seen rings, I've seen necklaces, I've seen earrings. A lot of jewelry have been made out of a lot of antlers. And have you ever tried using anything and making a little something out of them?
No, I did some carving of them a little bit, but I'm not any good at it, so it didn't really work out. I've won some buckles that have been made out of the burrs of elk antlers, which are the scrimshaw that are made with that, and they're really nice. Those are quite nice, fixtures and decorations or whatever you want to use of them. But there's I think I mentioned in the past, there's a gentleman that I know that he does carving of the antlers, and he once showed me a picture of a caribou shovel. And in this caribou shovel, and they're not very deep or thick, and he had carved out a mountain scene with mountain goats on it. And these are tiny, and it was amazing the detail that it had. So the art and the artistry that goes into some of these antler sheds are amazing.
I've seen a lot of, first off, you got to be darn talented to be doing that. But I think the most I've seen any kind of antler shed is knife handles. I've used them for a couple. I made a few knives here at the ranch, and knife handles was right there. It's easy material to grab right away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see a lot of that. It's very, very popular. That's for sure.
I made some coyote calls out of some of them too. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. I used to be handy, Wayne. I used to be handy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, now you can get back into it.
Yeah.
Since you don't have to calve out cattle this year. So.
Well, I got 3 big ones to go after here. So,
oh, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Not all the way out of it just yet. Not all the way. We're building back, as they said, building back here. But,
sure.
No, I tell you, the health of these deer look a lot better with open winter. I've seen some reports. I know in South Dakota, like Rapid City, they are way below average on snow for the year. Very low. You can see even in the mountain line numbers for the Black Hills. They're a lot further down than what they usually are, just because there's no snow to track them in. And track is the way to go. Now, I read that this morning in Bismarck, it puts them, this snow here puts them a little bit above average in the snowfall. I didn't realize you guys had that much snow up there this year.
Well, it would come and it would go. We had 5 inches that couple days here, and then a few days later it's gone as it got nice out. So it's been pretty good, and it's gonna bode well with even the deer and the wildlife out there, because they should really be good this year with this milder winter.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they come back and I think, what was it? The record number of tags, the lowest number of tags or something like that they dropped. And we can talk about in the second half as well and see about that.
Sure.
I just don't know how the numbers and all the flying that gets done, how they can really collect all the numbers. It's still, they got to be just eagle-eyeing up there.
Yeah.
That'd be tough to count all that stuff. And how many double counted?
Yeah, I know that they do the grid flying on them, and they do the same grid flying every year. Mm-hmm. So they try to keep a consistent basis of it. Now, how accurate is that? That's pretty tough. I don't know.
That would
hard.
be,
It would be.
it'd be interesting
Yeah,
to go up there and just kind of watch and see how they do
Yeah.
it once in a while. But
It would be fun.
with all
Yeah.
the game
So,
cameras across the country and everywhere you go now, it's crazy that you just couldn't take like an average of what the people are seeing out in their own property.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of like they do at the rain gauges. What did you get? And then you get a state average, different
Yeah.
regions and all that. But
Well, the same thing about for snow averages. Now, when I was investigating, I did some research on. So I saw a study about.
wait a minute. Before you get into this study, we're up against a break. So
All right.
we'll start with this study as we continue on the second half. Wayne Muth is my guest here. If you have questions, comments, 701-425-6651 is my cell. Feel free to call and, probably text. If you want to call in, 888-9-DAKOTA is the toll-free number to do that. We'll be back right after these great sponsors.
Pfeiffer's Auction Realty and Land Management, your trusted partner across the upper Midwest. Whether you're buying or selling land, farm equipment, or real estate, Pfeiffer's delivers results. Pfeiffer's offers proven live auction strategies with online bidding and an experienced team that handles every detail so you don't have to. Serving North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, nobody does it like Pfeiffer's. For more information, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, log on to Pfeifers.com.
Hey everybody, this is Riley Schreifer from Schreifer Red Angus. We would like to extend a big heartfelt thank you to all our family, friends, neighbors, and customers that helped make this past year a success. We here at Schreifer Red Angus are praying that each and every one of you has a safe and healthy calving season, timely spring rains, and a good start to all the hay crop for this year. If you're ever in our area and want to stop and go through the cows, our door is always open and you are more than welcome to swing in for a visit. Have a safe and blessed spring from Schreifer Red Angus.
For over 80 years, Dakota Community Bank and Trust has been a leader in ag financing because we understand the business of creating relationships is more than an interest rate. Agriculture is a foundation to the community, and we are here to help your operation expand, grow, and continue to the next generation. Talk to our ag lending team today.
Community looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer. Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance. Offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger.
I'm Dale Paulke with Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner in ag lending. With our deep understanding and appreciation for the Western way of life, we proudly accept, respect, and promote the values that define our community. Whether you're a farmer, rancher, or business owner, we are here to support your financial needs and help you thrive. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for all your banking needs.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Equal housing lender.
Pfeiffer's Auction Realty and Land Management, your trusted partner across the upper Midwest. Whether you're buying or selling land, farm equipment, or real estate, Pfeiffer's delivers results. Pfeiffer's offers proven live auction strategies with online bidding and an experienced team that handles every detail so you don't have to. Serving North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Wyoming, nobody does it like Pfeiffer's. For more information, details, and online bidding on dozens of land and equipment auctions throughout the upper Midwest, log on to Pifers.com.
Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors on a Saturday edition. Good to have you along here all across the Dakota Territory and on probably the best radio stations throughout the North and South Dakota area. Good to have you along here. Wayne Muth is my guest here. One of the ones I didn't get here before I did that one, we had another picture sent in to me southeast of Bismarck, 9 inches, but it was melting from the ground up for the first few hours. So I know, I mean, it's tough to see exactly what you had, but it's good to hear that it's been a widespread moisture for a lot of folks, and hopefully that helps them out. Also, Tim says, I've seen antler chandeliers. Jackson Hole has the Elk Antler Ranch, and I've never been down to Jackson Hole, but I've seen some of the chandeliers that they have in some of these, I don't know what you call them, Airbnbs, or I don't know, hunting. You can't call it a cabin anymore. It's like a hunting palace on some of these places, but it's pretty impressive. So, well, Wayne,
Yep.
What was the story I cut you off with so much here?
Oh, yeah, there was a study, I think it was through the National Deer Management Association, that they did some studies. Actually, some of it was in the Black Hills, and I sent this study actually to Clay Peterson. He requested it.
Okay.
And it's in regards to the good nutrition during gestation contributes significantly to the antler growth of bucks and does, of course, but bucks throughout their lifetime. So the antler growth of bucks on does that come through a winter that is really easy and they're really in good shape, those bucks that are born that year will carry that trait on through many years. So then I went back and did a little research about snowfall. So when we look at the snowfall for the last, let's say, 7-8 years, really the only year that we've had a lot of snowfall that was a really rough winter for deer was 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, those years, and this year will be another year, that they're coming through this year in really good shape. So these fawns that are born, these male fawns that are born, they're going to have better antler growth, and they're going to contribute. This good gestational and nutritional value that they get is going to contribute to that going forward. So if we go forward now 5.5 or 6.5 years, when they're mature, we're looking at one of those years being this year, coming up this fall.
Right. They came off of a hard winter, and so they're going to not have as good an antler?
No, they came off an easy winter.
Oh, okay,
So in 2020, the average snowfall in your state was like 34 inches. So we had it was really low ranking in snowfall. So that was an easier winter for them. So those deer now, if they've survived to that 5.5 and 6.5 years old, they're going to be having better quality antler growth. So, and we saw that last year too. Last year was another year, and it was amazing how many big deer were taken last year. And not only the big deer, the big elk, the bighorns, the moose, everything. I mean, you can surely see that has got some sort of contribution to the quality of animal that we're getting now and the quality of animal that should be coming up this fall. So if you're looking to get out and shoot a quality deer, this year would be a year to get out there and do it again, because there should be more of them.
Do you feel that putting mineral sites out and lick blocks and helping them out with some type of mineral form is a good, I mean, if you do it consistently over 5-6 years, do you feel that they're going to have a bigger rack doing that and helping them out?
Oh, I think it would, especially, the phosphorus and nitrates that they need to build up their antlers. They don't get enough of it through what they can graze off of and browse off of and through the landscape itself. So they're taking that phosphorus and calcium from their bones to help their antler growth. So if you're going to give that as a supplement, you're allowing them to get enough of that to get their antler growth, and not having them take much from their bones, and they probably are building better bodies, more stronger, healthier frames and bodies, and they're getting the antler growth along with that without having to sacrifice. Because the deer are one of the only creatures that goes into an osteoporotic state when they're growing their antlers, because they're taking calcium from different parts of the non-weight bearing bones, such as your shoulder blades and your ribs and such. And then as the season progresses, that calcium re-quantifies into those bones and they get stronger again. But by minerals, you probably do them justice. That's for sure.
So I wonder why there's not more like push to do that, throughout the state, especially to spread deer out a little bit, put sites all over the place. I know that in Texas, they actually pay landowners to do that, to spread things around. I wonder why that's not more of a push to keep the deer away from all the other ones.
Yeah, well, you'd probably fall back to that old controversy of the CWD piece. Are you congregating deer or are you spreading deer out? So in Texas, like you said, I think they spread the deer out, but we could have a whole weeks-long show of CWD again. So there's a lot of controversy there.
There's so much controversy there.
There is.
I just don't understand it sometimes. But that's for another day when we want to really stir the pot. Yeah. I think today's one of those days everybody's looking out and wanting to get the old toboggan out of your garage rafters, and you and your bride can go find the hill on the back side of your property and scoot down the side.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So,
that's for sure.
But I think you're saying the outlook for deer hunting this year should be pretty favorable then. And I mean, for the most part, I mean, there was some places last year that did get hit with EHD, and they did have a little bit of a run in here and there. But for the most part, it should be pretty fair throughout the Dakota Territory.
Yeah, I think the number of deer out there are going to be lower. I mean, they gave out 42,000 deer tags last year for the gun, and so, I mean, your opportunity is probably going to be less, but if you do get a tag, I think you're going to have a great opportunity to shoot a good deer. And, I did I did some other research on deer that were taken, and pictures that were posted and where they were taken from. And I did some investigation on how to look that up. And so what I found was and this is all mule deer, primarily, some whitetail, but primarily the mule deer piece. The big, nice bucks were not taken in the Badlands. There was a smaller percentage of them. Now, down in your area, there was some good deer taken, but also north, way farther north, there was a lot of good deer taken. So it depends on where you want to hunt and where you want to find good deer and the numbers of those. There's some areas that do carry quality numbers of deer, especially mule deer. So.
I think the mule deer are finally getting smart and are like, you know what? If we start traveling east, there's better food in those cropland areas.
Yeah, there is. North and east. And east. I tell you, it was amazing because when I started doing this research, I started getting some tallies of where these deer are taken. And you're going, oh my goodness. And I talked to some guys that have did the big buck contest and where these big bucks are coming from. And primarily it's way up north. And so if you want to use up some of those points and get into a good area, maybe some of that research will help you.
JD says, will bow tags be reduced as well since the rifle tags have been dropped?
I don't know. They had a success rate of only...
They will for non-resident. We know that because it's 15%.
Right.
But for the
mule deer,
Right.
Yeah, because they sold 27,000 archery licenses last year, and they had a success rate of a little under 30%. Mm-hmm. So I think they still use that as a part of a management tool that they feel as if they're going to get the same amount, and they probably calculate that into how many licenses are given out for a rifle. So,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of shocked that they don't give out more muzzleloader tags. They give out about 800 muzzleloader tags.
Yeah.
That just, to me, I'm not sure how they come up with that.
I've been putting that for years. I actually sold my muzzleloader. I bought one. I was like, I should be able to draw here in the next few. It's been 16 years. I was like, well, I changed my muzzleloader into a dart gun for a cattle instead. So
there you go. Yeah. And then, in this year, the bighorns, they have the record largest herd.
Mhm.
So maybe they'll be giving out more tags for bighorns as well. And we've been out elk hunting in Montana. My friend Kevin and I, we were down by Gardner, and we're sitting up glassing these elk across the river in a non-huntable area. And down below us, about 200 yards, is this huge ram standing. And he was a 190 class ram. You could just tell he's got the big, heavy mass. He's broomed well. He's got long length of his each horn, which if you try to judge a ram for size, you look at him from this side and you see the hole that the horn makes. You want that to be, if you get something the size of a cantaloupe, he's really big, because normally that horn will go down below the chin and then come up to the nose. Then you have great length on there. So you can really get a good idea of how big a ram is by just looking at him for, any particular time, but just use some keys to make sure that you're shooting a big one. But I would love to be able to go, hunt some nice big rams and look over some and shoot a big one. And we've got some good ones here in North Dakota.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right. South Dakota Game Fish Parks Commission modified the bounty program. You sent me this article a while back. And the bounty program, they passed a resolution to end the current nest predator bounty program in their March meeting in Pierre, created two separate programs within the existing budget. Now, I thought that this nesting program, giving a bounty, was a good idea. I come to realize there's a lot of folks in the South Dakota side didn't care for it. And I guess I didn't realize that. I thought, take out some of these darn predators and get kids involved in this. But I'm not sure why. They never explained why. But I know there's a lot of controversy. On getting your take on this. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's good. And to give people an idea what it is you get paid, what was it? How much per coyote? $20 per coyote?
Yeah, something every tail you brought in or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, every tail, yeah. And you got paid $20 per coyote. You can get a maximum of 30 coyotes, I think it was. Is that what the article, if I recall?
Yeah, there's a limit of how much. It's like a $200 limit or something. Yeah.
It's I think it's $600 limit.
Okay.
But you can get per household. So you go out there and you bring in tails of the coyotes. You don't have to show anything else. Just bring in the tails, and you're going to get paid for those tails. So, and they're trying to cut back on the number of coyotes down there. Now, I think it's a great idea. You're looking at, look at their pheasant population down there. And I'm not sure how that is. It looks like it's still good, but that's their bread and butter in that state.
Uh-huh.
So if you have a lot of extra coyotes and they're impacting that avenue of hunting, that also cuts back on that money resource that the communities are getting too. So I would imagine it's economical as well.
I think it goes beyond just coyotes too. You could do any nest in like raccoons or anything that goes into those nests. If you bring the tails, you get paid. And so they went beyond coyotes, which I thought was a good idea because, coyotes are bringing money and nobody's shooting raccoons anymore. And there are still some people out there doing that, but it wasn't as big as it used to be, or porcupines or anything else that are going after these eggs. And, they said data collected from the program shows a level of youth participation over the past 4 years has exceeded 30%. And in 2024 and 2025, it exceeded 46%. So that's good to see that the youth are getting involved in that. And, but yeah, I guess maybe the funding or something, I just don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Folks are saying, we don't want to see the state's money go towards a bounty program. I think it would be great to see that. I think that would help out at least my local guy here for the federal side of things when he tries to go out and fly and everything during calving season and try to help all the ranchers out there. If there was a bounty program, man, oh man, let's get after it.
Yeah, and I believe the reservation Standing Rock once had, and I don't know if they still do. They had a bounty on prairie dogs as well. I think it was for residents probably of the reservation, but where they could bring in the ears or the tail. I think it was the tails there too, and they can get paid 25 cents a tail. One of my friends, he came in, one had a great big bag full of these, and it was like, at least pay for your ammo, I guess. But
oh, the old coyote tournament in Shields. Do they still do that tournament?
that I do not know.
That was on I was on the list to try to get on it, and I just gave up on it because there was no way of getting in on there. And but Waylon, if you're listening, do they still have the Shields Big Prairie Dog tournament here? I'm thinking about starting one up over here on this side of the state, Wayne.
Well, what you could do is you could pay bounty for the prairie dogs, and then just take the hindquarters and have a big meal for everybody.
No.
You don't want to do that, huh?
I don't want anything. I don't even want to see the tails. They can just tell me how much they got, and I'd be fine with it.
We could bring in a chef. We could bring in a chef that'll help make those for you for a big group. Yeah,
you can keep your chef, and I'll just serve up some local grown beef instead, and see who gets which crock pot gets emptied faster. Let's do that. Mr. Mayor says, I'd rather see a program like Armstrong talking about, but some of those low production acres to put those in a habitat with the extra money than putting a bounty on. Interesting. Okay.
Using that money.
Yeah.
Well,
using the money in a different way that way. Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking, looked on the Game Fish and Parks here. The coyote tails are worth $30, and it's a limit of $590 of tails in each program.
Okay. Sure.
That, so, yeah.
Yeah. And Governor Armstrong, it was great to see him or hear him on the radio with you. And his program, I think, could be good. And at least it's a good program, and not like the American Prairie Reserve, where they're trying to take over a lot of these lands and take grazing away from ranchers. And as a matter of fact, Montana has stepped back out of that, and they negated some of the leasing that this American Prairie Reserve had to run buffalo on some of these lands, on BLM lands, and still allow ranchers to run their cattle on it. So thought that was pretty interesting too, that maybe the tide is turning on some of this and making it not only rancher friendly, but hunter friendly as well.
Yeah, Montana got themselves into a little bit of a pickle there, didn't they? I mean, they get some of there's a lot of big money coming in and buying some property up and then quote unquote donating it to like the American Prairie Reserve. And then what they call it, they had like 6 names in like 6 years that they had to call it because they kept switching names to make it sound really, really good. But and then also, I mean, if you take your land to auction and you get a big organization like this comes in with a ton of money, it's hard to, I look at it as a selling standpoint. If you were the seller, you're trying to get the most out of it than you can. Yeah, it's tough to see it go to something like this that's taking it out of agricultural production. But man, oh man, I hope it never happens in the Dakota Territory like that. I just
exactly.
I really hope it doesn't. And I don't know if I think there's a little bit of it starting. I don't think it's on a size of Montana yet, but I think it's starting in the States. I really do.
We just hope to put a limit on it if it does happen. So
get ahead of it while we can. That's why you got to run. You got to run for legislature there, Wayno.
No, thank you.
Why not?
No, thank you.
With term limits, it's going to be shuffling around. It's not for that many years. Just get after it and get it done.
You'd be better at that than I would. I'm too busy. I'm too busy with other stuff.
There's nothing you're doing in the springtime. There's no hunting going on or anything that you got to worry about, except turkey season, and that's just simple.
Yeah, that's training horses and such. We're doing that. So
can do that.
Turkey season. Yeah, it's turkey season, so you're going to get out and
absolutely.
Turkey's kind of that poor man's elk. They tell you where they're at, and you can call them in, and it's just fun. It's just fun. And
hey, before I forget, because we're not into turkey like the southern states are, but I want you to tell us about Ranch America, what we got coming up here. You got that way before, because we only got 60 seconds here. So
okay, very quickly, they're on the Hawaii episodes. They went out and they hunted feral cows on the Miulalawa Island, I think it was, and it was pretty interesting. And these were actually very vicious cows, if you call them vicious. They're very aggressive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you had to be careful because they would chase you down and such. So, yeah, that was part of it. And hopefully have them coming back here if we get the schedule set up in North Dakota and doing that as well. And they're also talking about the wolf problem in Northern California as well on Ranch America and the issues that they've had there. So that's another issue that we could spend time on. I tell you, the wolves are getting worse, but I think people are starting to recognize it a little bit. Yeah. So,
if you've never seen the story of the wild cows and how they got to the islands of Hawaii, it's a great story to listen to. And I've heard the same thing from a lot of folks that have been over there. They're like, they are dangerous. But Wayne, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate you. We'll do a little after show. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Wayne Muth, if you want more information, you can find him all over the place. If you want anything scored, he's one of the official scorers as well. Thanks for tuning in here on a snowy, well, hopefully, maybe in your area, snowy Saturday. Eat some meat, drink some milk, wear fur and wool, and support your private landowners out there. All right, stations. Thank you, stations. Appreciate you. Wayno. Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Another hour gone like that.
Yeah, so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get into some big game cooking. Maybe we could do a show on that.
We should do that. Let's do big game cooking. And do you know anybody that we could bring in as a third partner on this? I know shit about cooking. Okay. I know how I used to cook stuff and how I like to eat my wife's food, and that's it. And she ain't going to come on the radio.
Yeah.
But she has some of the best wild game. I mean, I really wish she'd come on the radio, but anyway.
Yeah, that'd be great to have her on. Cause I make a venison stroganoff and I make fajitas and stuff like that. And, it's just different ways to make it that are so good. And like I mentioned, getting that meat, letting that meat, stay in the fridge and, let that myoglobin come out and making that flavor even better. I just think that's a good way to do it. It'd be a great good conversation. Maybe I could get our executive producer, who's a professional chef from Dead Meat, who made our grouse down there. That'd be fun to have him on.
I have a lot of questions for him.
He's a card. Oh my goodness, he's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with how you take care of the animal once you shoot it. That's where it starts out, and then you take it from there on. But I tell you, we could do a cooking show.
Yeah, and one of the antelope that I shot last year, the one I shot in Montana, I was laying. They were traveling down this little ridge onto my friend's property, and I was laying on this flat hillside, and I waited for them to come up over the top, and so I get a shot. And when I shot a frontal shot, but the shot was a little quartering, but the shot was slightly off, so it went between the shoulder blade and the ribs and kind of went through his gut and out. Mm-hmm. So he turned and he ran down by this dam, which I didn't see, and he was down behind these trees. So it took 25 minutes to find him. I was just dumbfounded. I thought he should have been laying there. So that caused the meat to not be as good with that antelope. So then I'm looking at, okay, this antelope tastes a little bit different because it was a little bit, heated up or whatever you want to call it. So then you just use that method that's in the fridge, letting that myoglobin and other things come out. It tenderizes the meat, and I also put a little tenderizer on and some seasoning before I cook it for about an hour or so. And it really helps that flavor. So it's little tricks you can do when you don't have good meat, because you're going to have these bad shots sometimes, and you're going to have maybe a not good tasting animal, whether it's in a rut or it's had eating bad stuff like the elk from, Gardner, Montana, so. But
the mayor asked, do you soak your meat in salt water to draw any of the blood out?
Never put them in water. Because when you put them in water, what you want to do is get them dried out. It's like anything. When you dry age a beef, you don't, soak it in water, wash it, or, let the blood come out that way. So you just put it in on a paper towel in the fridge, and you'll find that meat will get more tender. I think it'll soak out all those other ingredients, that myoglobin, that proteins that come out of that. It's
Wouldn't that just be considered more aging? Like a lot of folks when they
right.
like when we shoot an elk or anything, we throw it in the cooler. I mean, even a deer, I like it in there for almost 10 to 15 days before I go and I start cutting it. I mean, I just let it age.
Right.
I do have a lot of waste. There's no doubt about it. But I sure seems like it takes a lot of that gaminess out of it, and it's so tender.
Yeah. Right. And that's really it's the same premise there, but you're just doing it with a smaller piece so that, you're getting it done faster. So you can do it in 2 days time, and it really makes a difference. But you could see the amount of fluid that comes out of that.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because that can give you a bad taste as well. And,
when you talk about your antelope that you kind of gut shot, antelope they're potent when you open them up. And if you when you gut shoot them, they're even more potent. Yeah. Which anything is when you gut shoot anything. But anytime, and that's why whenever I clean or gut my animal, I take a lot of time getting everything done on the back end as carefully as I can. Because it seems like even a little bit of that stomach vial that touches the meat, it just gives that nastiness taste to it for a while. And I end up cutting it out. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I sure like to. That's why I kind of went to more of head shooting some of these animals anymore. Yeah. It makes my gutting process a lot easier.
Right, exactly. Well, even you got to think about it, even when you lung shoot them. I mean, if you gut them, and I don't gut as many animals anymore, very few, but when you gut them, now you take out the guts, and now you're taking out the heart and lungs and everything, and it's nothing but blood, and it makes everything. You can just smell the blood, and if that blood goes into the ribs and such, it's going to soak into the meat there. So all that you want to try to wash off, but sometimes it's unavoidable.
That's why you take one of those water fire extinguishers. It's one of the best purchases you'll ever do and ever buy. I still think to this day, when you're gutting an animal, is get that lifted up and flush that thing out of there.
Yep. Just exactly what happened with Judy's moose when she shot it, because she shot it in this. It was a field it was crossing, the stubble field, and the foreman for this ranch, I called him. I said, "Yeah, we got the moose down." He said, "Okay, go take your pictures. I'm going to come out with a boom truck." So he came out with a boom truck that had 10-foot boom on, and we put chains onto the front legs, and we got it set up, and I started gutting it out, and he would drive ahead and pull out the gut pile, and then he lift it up, and he had one of those fire extinguishers. They call them Indians, don't they? I think.
I call it a silver bullet, but
silver bullet.
I'm not sure what everybody's got a different name for, probably.
But anyway, and that's what's used, and rinsed them out right there. Was able to get them up high enough to slide them on my ATV trailer and drop them down. So.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is about not having as many cattle is I don't have as much fencing to do this year. So
I suppose,
now I'm going to be putting mineral sites and all kinds of things in here. I'm going to try to make a little haven of hunting over in my little pasture I got.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be nice. So, speaking of fencing and elk, a mutual friend of ours, found a bull. Well, he was out elk antler shed hunting. He plays basketball with my son, and he's showing me the pictures. He said, I was just out elk shed hunting, and he looked across the Heart River. On the other side, and the edge of the river was an elk shed laying. So they had to go all the way around. It's like a 10-mile trek. So he gets over there and goes down to the river there, and sure enough, it's not just a elk shed; it's the whole elk.
A dead head. Okay, yeah.
A dead head. No, it was not a dead head. It was a whole elk frozen underneath the water.
Oh, okay.
And then he got permission from Game and Fish Department to get it out, and he got a tag for it. But he cut it out of there, and wire was wrapped around the antlers, like it had gotten tangled in wire, either crossing the river where a wire fence had broken and washed down, or something in that nature. And he got it all out, and he showed him pictures of the wires just wrapped around the head and stringing down the side of the elk, and must have got entangled and drowned in the river. But he was like a 350-inch bull.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do a lot of wreckage on fences. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of elk out there, a lot of elk on the reservation too. My goodness.
Yeah, they're spreading down south really bad now. I mean, or good. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. Everybody says you can keep them up there, Scott. I'm like, too bad. They're getting pushed, and definitely, when they're flying and they move elk a lot. He's that first week of September. You should come out here and just see all the planes and what they do. It is
kidding.
just unbelievable.
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Yeah, and down, like I said, the rancher down south by Selfridge, he showed me a picture of 300 elk in his property, on the edge of his property, and the reservation down there. It's like, holy cow. And his area, he has corn. When we were down there filming for Ranch America, he had 20 rows in from his corn were all chopped off about half the height. And the Game and Fish Department put these screamers out there, so when the elk come in there, they go off and they flash lights and they make noise and keep the elk out. And I don't know if it's working, but it's devastated his corn down there too.
Yeah. Yeah, they love cornfields, man. They love that stuff.
Yeah, nuts. Yeah. It is crazy, that's for sure. But thanks for coming up and gonna do the auctioneering for the Cowboy Hall of Fame. That's nice. It should be I've never been to it. It looks like a really fun time. So,
you've never been to a night at the races?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. They're pretty easy, pretty simple.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they're going to organize this one for an auction. But I told Rick Thompson last year, I said this is kind of how we usually do a night at the races, and he's like, well, that's not how we did it last year. I'm like, well, if you want me to come up there, we got to have a little bit of fun doing stuff. And I think it went over pretty well. Went over, so.
Yeah, it was, they say it gets a little chaotic and gets a lot of things going on, and so it should be good. Yeah. Looking forward to it, that's for sure.
Should be a good time. I suppose I better go. I better shovel out some of the garage doors here and shop doors and put some feed in for the horse, I guess.
So, yeah, I know we got to get out there and do that this afternoon too. So, but we will see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, sounds good, man. We'll catch you.
Okay, you bet. Thanks, Scott.
Bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right. Oh, YouTubers, thank you for sticking around. Appreciate y'all. Have fun shoveling out. We'll catch you next week, I guess. Have a great